Hey guys, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday algorithm, Sunday sports algorithm video. We're going to talk about NBA. We're going to talk about NHL. We're going to talk about NFL, the big NFL. That's how we'll wind up the video and talk basically the majority of the video about football. But let's go over results from Saturday on NBA. I don't have Sunday in here actually. That's why it's going to be really fast because just no time to do it yet. It'll be going to be up early in the morning when I get all this out of the way to those who want to see really football. So NBA okay day, except pick of the day loses. The Pelicans make it to overtime, but they don't win. Phoenix is also winning pretty healthily and probably will cover as they're running over Portland. So the reason why I wanted to bring up NBA in this video, even though we're not going to talk about Sunday, was I wanted to look at our projected margin of victories over here in yellow right there. This stuff right there to see if it's coming out in the right order and we're winning. And it was okay, kind of okay, except we actually don't do as good as the odds makers. The odds makers, all the favorites win today. So that means the Pelicans do not win and the Hornets don't win, even though they cover. So the odds makers did better than the algorithm today because they got all the favorites won essentially. Now let's look at this not in current season but last season mode with last season stats because it's actually better. It's better. It's better again, and I'm annoyed because I want to move on to current season stats, but this is better, right? This is, and also here's the other thing is look at the projected margin of victory over here and see, is it matching the actual the final margin of victory? Because that's what we care about. If these two are the same, then everything's working great. And this game looks like, it's already a blowout, actually. It's already 42-66 in the third quarter, right? So they're already covering, and they'll probably cover unless, they'll look like they're going to lose. So it's going to look like something like this on the end of the day under last season stats. And what you end up getting better here is you end up getting the Pelicans still thinking it's going to win, and this game goes to overtime, but you end up getting Brooklyn on the right side of this with Kyrie completely off the roster and out of the team. If you saw my video about what I did with Kyrie Irving and just removed him from everything in the player database completely to give Brooklyn a better health number. So last season stats again crushes it better. Damn it. So I will post tomorrow with Sundays. I'll post both. I will post current, which is this one, and I'll post past because this is not as good as the past one was. So all right, so that's NBA. We'll do more NBA tomorrow. I don't think there'll be a video, but you can subscribe to the Google Sheet if you want that. Hockey, enormous day, not looking good. Number one pick of the day, Bruins lose. They lose here barely 2-1. You can see they hold Toronto, not a lot of scoring, but they lose. And then Vegas does win and cover. So Vegas puts up some goals and wins. Buffalo fought hard and led a couple times in this game, but ended up losing to Tampa Bay with I believe Dahlin not playing. So they're just outstanding, awesome defensemen. Then there's New Jersey is winning right now, and that would be another one of our underdogs. See if the score has changed. Still 3-2. So New Jersey's winning. Seattle wins. So that was good as you catch the Seattle underdog at plus 165. But Boston does not win. Chicago does not even come close. Colorado wins. Dallas beats Edmonton. I wish the algorithm had it, but it didn't. It's unfortunate that it did not. It did say it almost a no-play game. It was too close, but Dallas does win. And then Philadelphia wins, and Cam Talbot was all screwed up with his stats. So his stats will get back to normal now, and that'll make this easier to predict when he plays goalie. Buffalo doesn't win. Seattle wins. Washington losing to Arizona. We can't score that. After leading too, like that's trouble. New Jersey and all these other games are still going, and we'll see if anything interesting happens, like LA coming back against Florida would be interesting because it does say that this game is really close and supposedly could end in like a low tie. So we'll see what happens there. But Vancouver also playing better, as is shown by this year. Vancouver is playing better if they win today. They are playing better. That's what that says. So that's hockey. Haven't done hockey for tomorrow because not ready yet. Go subscribe to the Google Sheet if you want it. Now, football. I just updated the injury report. It's time to look at football. So we're going to craft some football games because if football's rigged, which it might be, let's choreograph some football games then, and figure out what kind of interesting things we're going to be shown on Sunday. Let's do it. As I sip on the coffee. So I know it's late. I'm tired. All right, guys, we've got two things going on here. We've got win score now, which is this whole thing is sorting descending by win score, meaning we think this team is supposed to win the most when you just randomly compare these teams, the strength of one over the other. This is the difference, is this win score percentage. It's like a margin, really. Well, the point projections are a little independent from that. They're very independent from that, and they're based on the people playing in the game. And while it does one thing, this does something else. And so we're going to look down descending by this, assuming this is the right descending way to look at it, simply by brute strength. And we're going to try to hit the top 7 games or better. And that's what this algorithm is supposed to do. So the question is, are the point projections going to agree or disagree? And why would they or why wouldn't they? And we will discuss. All right. Well, let's start. Thursday's game is over, and it was kind of a win. Houston covers plus the points, but Philadelphia, of course, does not lose this game and actually wins by more than the algorithm said. Thursday is over. Time to talk about Sunday. And of course, whenever we talk about Sunday, the first thing I do is I ask, what was Monday's? What's Monday's game? So we can get it out of here. Monday's game is Baltimore and New Orleans. Great. Algorithm terrible with New Orleans anyway, so don't even want to worry about it. So we're just worrying about Sunday. And we're going to come up with our picks with our rigged NFL choreographed football picks for the day. That's right. Ken's rigged NFL football picks is what we should call this video, because we're having fun with the NFL, because even if it's not rigged, I'm going to complain and pretend that it is, because I want this algorithm to be exactly correct all the time. And it hasn't done it yet this year. So we're going to have to try to get it there. Let's do it. All right. So we've got Buffalo over the Jets on top by win score. That makes a lot of sense. The algorithm, along with the odds makers, think that Buffalo wins this game and pounds it the way they pound it. Point projections do not agree. Point projections are kind of supposed to be reality. Point projections say that the strength of the Jets, like the defense, their offense, the way they play, that they can actually win this game by 5 points. So let's assume that that's what could happen, is the Jets could win in a perfect vacuum of only stats mattering and me having the correct lineup and concoction of players essentially in here. Okay. Detroit's kicking. We got to fix Detroit's kickers. They got too many kickers in Detroit. That's one problem. Anyway, let's get back to this. So let's assume the Jets could win. Well, if the Jets could win the game, but they probably won't, because Buffalo is just that much stronger. And well, I mean, Buffalo, even though Buffalo is not at home, this game's in New York. It's nice weather. It's of course you couldn't do anything with minus 625 anyway. But I guess as a straight bet, for no other reason other than they could win this game, you bet a small amount on the Jets, which is so funny that I say that now. But they are plus 490. And in a sports book where you're allowed to cash out in the middle of a game or something like that, if the Jets get up to like a 2-touchdown lead or something by accident, you can catch this thing out for more than double your money probably at that point, if it was even in the first half. And you're getting 5-1 on the Jets. So that is actually what this says. And the choreographed version would have the Jets taking the lead at some point in this game. They're capable of doing it, but it would have Buffalo probably winning, or Buffalo just blows it out and plays incredible. That would be really something if Buffalo had something to prove. And I mean, these are both New York teams, even though they're very far apart. That would be something, but it says the Jets can win. So that's the choreographed crazy bet of the day, is take the Jets to win. I know it's the opposite pick on the top of here, but because of the point projections and just the fact that, of course, they could win. Like, they have a pretty good team this year. They've been playing very well, actually. So that's what you do there. No, or that's what I'm going to do there, is talking about how to make straight bets and win and what to do with this. Because there's no way you're going to get 7 of these picks together. You try to take teams at the top. NFL has just been too hard. I mean, I have to see it to believe it, and it hasn't been happening. So Cincinnati and Carolina should be a no-brainer. Carolina still should not be good. Um, says that this is a 7-point game and a 54% margin. So this makes sense. Now, of course, the spread is 7. So what do you do? Can't do anything. Can't do much here because I'll tell you. You could bet them minus 325 to win. They'll probably win on a parlay, but I don't know what else to do with that line. Minnesota, the Commanders. Says the Commanders can beat a 6-1 Minnesota. Kirk Cousins is coming to town. All kinds of weird things going on with Dan Snyder and investigations and everything. So, Minnesota is a team that also does funky, weird things. The line is not that great for Minnesota. It actually should be worse. So this is almost like a gimme line. The Commanders can win this game apparently by 5 by holding Minnesota's offense. This game is in Washington. Boy, I'm giving bad advice, man. I'm fighting the algorithm because the algorithm is fighting itself. I want to keep trusting point projections, but this is saying something different. Let's just say there are no confirmations. Like the Jets is a crazy pick because you can get 5-1 odds on them winning, and I could see how they could win because of the point projection. So, and they've been playing well this year. You can't argue with that. As much as I joke about them, they've been playing well this year. They're a sneaky team that has paid well a few different times this year, so that's okay. Here, right? Just nothing to play. Here, I'm trying to fight the algorithm on something, and the line's not good enough given the point projection. So just stay away from it. Green Bay, Detroit. This is the one I'm having fun with. It's given Detroit a couple extra points because we've got 2 kickers in there. So let's fix that. I want to fix that for everyone. I can tell that by opening up the kickers, and I can see here that that Detroit has overranked kickers because they have too many. They have Badgley and Siebert. Badgley's got a 1.06 because he's also played on 2 teams. I'm actually going to remove Badgley. Thanks. Michael. I'm going to remove Badgley completely because his number is too weird anyway, and I want to discount Detroit a little more for the purposes of what we're talking about. So that just got rid of him. And getting rid of him allows me to QB. If that works. What that does is it gets the kickers in the right thing, and you'll see it's going to change the score. Instead of Detroit having 38, they're going to have 31 now. All right, perfect. So that makes things a little more reasonable. That's probably what screwed up them last week too, if I had 2 kickers in there by accident. So Green Bay empirically is supposed to win this game with a 27% margin. Points say Detroit can win. I was talking about NFL being rigged. So there's if you want to have the Packers potentially being in the playoffs or doing anything, they got to have a win this week. Look at their stats. The Packers are in trouble. And where are they? They're here at 3-5. 3-5 is starting to sound like a team that isn't even going to get to 500. And if they're going to at least get on their way back, they have to beat Detroit this week and figure something out. So this is either going to be a week here where they're going to lose to Detroit. It's going to be over for their season right now. Or they're going to find a way to come back and beat a Detroit team that scores a little bit too many points than they should. And even though the over-under is high, that's what I feel like happens in this game. So what do you do in terms of a bet there? I would take Detroit to win, and then when they get ahead in the first half, cash the bet out because you can get them at 162. So you bet this 162. Hopefully they're leading at the end of the first half. They might even run away with the game, and Green Bay never comes back. You never even know. Green Bay's not playing well this year. And so you can bet that straight bet. Once again, I'm going completely against the algorithm, kind of. But I would still say that Green Bay actually somehow wins this game. And you tell me how it happens. But I think it'll be crazy, and I think they will. That's the way I would rig this game. So we'll see what happens there. But taking Detroit to cash out the bet if you can is the way I would play this. And I think I will play that because that's what I'm going. Like I like being able to watch a part of the game, have a part of the game happen, the early part of the game happen the way you want it to, and then take your money and run and watch the rest of the game and see how everything else would have panned out. I like doing that a little better. It's kind of interesting. Next, you've got Patriots and Colts. Wow, projected score favors the Colts. Unreal. Boys, everything disagreeing with itself. What is happening? Except for Jacksonville beating the Raiders, which I refuse to take because I don't think this team is playing on the level. Oh, yuck. Yuck. I don't know what to tell you. There's not the only good things to bet are crazy line stuff like I'm talking about, right? Like Detroit and the Jets, things that are not on the left side here. Even the Commanders, too. That's another one you can do this with. Commanders are plus 160. Well, let's just look down at the lines. I mean, are the worst lines bettable? This is almost how I wanted to talk about, is the NFL rigged? Well, if you're going to rig it, you want to get something that pays great, right? So let's go check out the money line descending. This is the stuff that pays the best in order, right? If these teams win, you get paid the most, according to when I put the lines in here. I haven't checked them today, actually. I need to redo that. The Jets, the Titans over the Chiefs, Carolina, Indianapolis, which it says happens by score. And there's some weird stuff going on with QB problems, but this game's in New England, but it's not cold. It's nice weather. Bears over the Dolphins, plus 188, which it says they do that also. Yuck. I don't trust what is happening. That has negative 1%. It is such a confusing week, and what I'm doing with the file is confusing. I get it, guys. It's confusing. What do you do? I mean, what's the projected? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I know that this is supposed to work, and I'm telling you to do things like bet the other team because that's what comes out of my mouth is just ways to destroy stuff because that's my betting instincts. You're supposed to listen to this in order. Problem is these lines are terrible. So there isn't anything to bet. And I would never say bet Jackson. There's nothing to bet, which is why I'm coming up with crazy stuff at crazy lines because there's nothing else to bet. And from a straight betting perspective, I do think that's appropriate, which is it's appropriate to, I don't know what happened. We're half frozen. It's appropriate to take things with ridiculous lines like the Jets, like the Commanders, like the Lions, like the Colts, because if they win, they pay. And like, how many of these five do you need to, or one? Don't take Carolina, but two. Of course, watch them win. These ones here, that's four of them. You get any two of those right, you're up money, and you get just the Jets right, and you're up money. So there's like, how can you be like, I went 1-3 and I made money? Be like, because they had the Jets against the Bills. And you're like, why did you do that? Be like, I don't know. This crazy dude's algorithm said they were going to win 23-18. They ended up winning 21-16. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, because it could happen. I'm saying that because of the point projections. Like when you sort this, because can't you just see me coming back on Sunday night or Monday and being like, I told everybody to use win strength, and it turned out that projected margin of victory worked better this week. Can't you just see me saying that? Being like, I told everybody to do the wrong thing. So I'm telling everybody to do everything so that I can't be totally wrong. In this version, the Chiefs had a terrible line. No, I'm not going with Arizona. They've been losing, and Seattle has been hurting us. I bet you this is the sneaky game that wins, which is Atlanta beats the Chargers. That kind of makes sense. They are at a 7%. So this is one that's consistent by win score and by projection. So this is also a straight bet because they're plus 145. So let's just talk about the underdogs we're playing. We're playing Atlanta. We should play the Rams, even though they have a negative win score. That the Tampa Bay ain't having it. Brady ain't having it. Atlanta, the Rams. I'm not touching the Bears. Not touching the Bengals because the line's bad. I am playing Detroit. I am playing Washington. I am playing the Jets. I don't like Indianapolis. I'll stay away from Indianapolis because the win score percentage is negative 22%. I'll be like, the Patriots can find a way here because I don't want to have money on Indianapolis, even though they're at plus 205 there. That's it. So that's 5 teams, and they're all underdogs. And even if you didn't have, see these lines here? These are all underdog lines if they're still existing, something similar to that. Those 5, if you go 3 out of 5, you're absolutely making good money. If you go 2 out of 5, you're probably up, depending on which 2 you hit and whether or not you hit the Jets. But you need to really go 3 and 2 or better to have a good day. What are you going to do it with? The answer is Buffalo, you probably don't win with the Jets. The Commanders blow it to the Vikings. Maybe Detroit beats a bad Green Bay, and Atlanta beats the Chargers, and then you have maybe the Rams beating the Bucks because Brady's washed up now. So you can go 3-2 on this, and you can have a crazy weird day and go 4-1 and really make out like a bandit. This seems like a better idea. I'm actually going to throw these on a round robin in addition to. I'll probably throw them on a round robin with all of their points because, as you can see, there's more than there's a field goal or more in every one, especially the Jets, in every one of these instances. And I might even take Indianapolis plus 5.5 on a round robin with those points. This is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm actually happy I went through the video like this. This makes sense. You're taking stuff that is going against odds makers' advice, and it's where the algorithms point projections are arguing with it, but you're not expecting to hit all of them, and you don't have to hit all of them. You need to hit about half of them, or just on that rubber match going 3-2, and you do win more than a few units for sure if you go 3-2 on Atlanta, the Rams, Detroit, Washington, and the Jets. And if the Jets come in, boy, oh boy, isn't that a real victory for the algorithm, understanding how the odds makers have them on the complete other side. Odds maker have it as the number one, the odds makers in the win score percentage, kind of the same thing. When we do this descending by win score. So yeah, the biggest favorite of the day is the Bills. So how on earth, you ask yourself that, how on earth can the biggest favorite of the day lose? And it's because the Jets are not a bad team, but Buffalo just has such a great reputation, and the Jets don't have a good reputation. So the point projections say it can happen. So this might be the week it does. And you only got to hit that 1 out of 5 times to make money. And this week it says it might. So it's just funny how you can see why the top of the list and the worst line has a chance at winning, let alone covering. I mean, you get 12.5 points with them. That's probably really an excellent straight bet. Is that they are probably not getting blown out. Because they're a pretty good team. It's tough to blow out any football team by even a couple touchdowns in today's NFL, especially the Jets. I mean, have the Jets lost the game by more than a touchdown the entire season? I'd like to know that. Let's take a look. Jets, first 8 weeks. They had a final score. Take a look what happened with the Jets. They had final scores where, does it say where the margin? Okay, so they won by 4, they won by 7, they won by yeah, they won, they beat Cleveland. They start 4-0. They lost the Patriots by 5. They got blown out by Baltimore, if that is correct. Did they really lose 24-9 to the Ravens? And they got blown out by Cincinnati, if that is correct. And I think it is. So they have lost a couple games by more than 7, was my question. And I have an answer now. So in summary, yeah, I have straight bets for football that are somewhat going against the algorithm's win score, but they are going with the point projections, and they're going with lines. They're going with good paying lines, and they're going the straight bet route. So that is what we're doing, because you can see on this list, where's the first time we see one? We see them here, 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 potentially even here with the Colts, the Rams, and we only have one, Atlanta, only one that's favored. There's only one of these that is favored in both, which is Atlanta over the Chargers. So that should also be noted because it has a certain pick of the day potential to it, which is it's the only one that's confirmed on both sides of the sheet. They have a positive margin and they're supposed to win the game by 8. So that has a pick of the day sort of ring to it. Atlanta over the Chargers being the pick of the day. Wow, at home. Okay, guys. That's the NFL update as we walk through it, whether it be rigged or not. It will be entertaining. There's a lot of other things going on during the day tomorrow, but I will definitely be glancing in on football. And I'm just going to make those bets I said. I'm going to make them right now. I don't want to do anything else or worry about any football. But I'm going to take all those teams we just mentioned, Atlanta. So there'll be a different round robin. One will be Atlanta to win. The other will be Atlanta plus the points. So there's Atlanta. Mouse is not wanting to work right, but yeah, Atlanta. Then there's the Rams. Then there's no, I'm not taking Indianapolis, but I would take Indianapolis plus 5.5 on a round robin with a bunch of other ones with points. I'll take Detroit, and I'll take Detroit plus 3.5. I'll take Washington. I'll take Washington plus 3.5, and I'll take the Jets, and I'll take the Jets plus 12.5. That's what's happening. All right, guys. Good luck, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday, and may all your picks be having fun and winning.